On a bright afternoon warmed by golden sunlight, a small bakery on Riverside Avenue buzzed softly with comfort. The air carried the aroma of fresh bread, sugared pastries, and the quiet promise of better days. But just beyond the welcoming glow stood a fragile moment waiting to unfold. A weary woman named Marissa stepped inside. Her clothes worn, her face marked by exhaustion and worry. Beside her was her young daughter, Flora, small and thin, her tired eyes still holding a flicker of hope. Marissa hesitated, her chest tightening as she gathered the courage to speak. She hadn't eaten since the day before. Flora's last meal had been a single apple they had carefully shared. She wasn't there to buy anything. She had come to ask for what others discarded without a thought. If you believe kindness still has power, if you believe one moment can change a life, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wes Kindness Corner. Your support keeps these stories alive. Inside, the bakery felt painfully out of reach to Marissa. Shelves overflowed with warm loaves, pastries gleaming under soft lights, cakes decorated like treasures. She kept her eyes lowered, afraid of the stares she imagined burning through her. Flora clutched her sieve, fingers shaking. Each step toward the counter felt heavy, the polished floor unforgiving beneath her worn shoes. The staff looked up, their polite smiles faltering with uncertainty. Marissa's voice quivered as she asked if there was any leftover cake, something past its date. Meant for the trash, that she could give her daughter, who hadn't tasted a treat in months. What she didn't realize was that someone nearby was watching. A tall man in a simple gray suit stood quietly near the display. His name was Klaus Roland Vancis, a powerful businessman known throughout the city. That day he wasn't there for meetings or headlines. He had come for a moment of peace and a slice of blueberry pie. Instead, life offered him something far more meaningful. As Marissa spoke, something stirred inside Roland. People often assume wealth hardens the heart, but his had already been broken years ago. He had lost his wife and daughter in a tragic accident, and since then, grief had sealed him off from the world. Yet hearing a mother's trembling plea in the soft light of a bakery cracked, on a part of him, he thought was gone forever. The employees exchanged uneasy glances. They wanted to help but were bound by strict rules. The silence grew heavy. Marissa's face flushed with shame. She considered leaving, pretending she had never asked. But hunger anchors hope in place, no matter how painful it feels. Flora tugged gently at her sleeve, her eyes drifting toward a strawberry-top cake behind the glass. She didn't ask. She already knew which dreams were allowed. Roland noticed everything. The way the child hid, the way the mother tried to stay strong. In Flora, he saw echoes of his own daughter. What he felt wasn't pity. It was understanding. He stepped forward quietly, without introductions or attention. At the counter, he asked for the freshest cake on display. A soft vanilla sponge layered with cream and bright berries. Then he ordered warm meals, sandwiches, pastries, anything that could bring comfort back into two hungry hearts. Marissa watched in stunned confusion. When Roland turned toward her, she braced herself for judgment. Instead, he simply placed the bag on the counter and nodded for the staff to hand it to her. He thanked them, wished them a pleasant afternoon, and stepped aside as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Her hands trembled as she reached for the bag. Disbelief flooded her face, then tears she had been holding back for far too long. Flora's face lit up, not with greed, but with room shifted. The staff softened, quietly ashamed of their earlier hesitation. Roland moved toward the door, intending to leave unnoticed. But Marissa called out, a soft, broken thank you that carried more truth than any speech he had heard in boardrooms. He turned and smiled, a genuine smile that reached places grief had locked away. He told her to take care, no names, no conditions, just kindness. Outside the sunlight felt warmer, the breeze gentler. Roland realized that helping someone else had awakened something inside him he believed was lost forever. Marissa and Flora sat on a bench nearby, sharing cake like people who hadn't felt seen in a long time. Their quiet smiles looked like the beginning of a new chapter. Roland understood then that it isn't wealth or grand gestures that change lives. Sometimes, it's one simple act of compassion, offered at the exact moment it's needed most. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to us Kindness Corner, so we can keep spreading stories like this. And tell us in the comments, Do you believe small acts of kindness can truly change a life? And so, on an ordinary afternoon, a question about expired cake became a reminder that humanity still shines brightest where no one expects it.